what? Like literally, whoever had learned this hadn't gotten the part where we weren't sending them out for 2 months. I've been doing this 35 years. I've helped consult hundreds and hundreds of companies that were either compromised or recovering from a compromise. I've got a couple of good ones, and probably one of my best. I was called in to this multinational, very large Fortune 10 company with not only locations around the country, but different types of companies. They had hotels and educational stuff, and they made satellites and all kinds of radio equipment. And they'd been compromised 3 times by Chinese, what's called Advanced Persistent Threat, APT. And I'd been in on some of the previous responses and trying to help keep the Chinese out. And this is the 3rd time. And this company had, as of the 2nd time, had been fined $100 million by the United States government, and they'd fired the CIO, CISO, new team of people, hired a bunch of people, put in all these things, and they got compromised for a 3rd time. So this is really an all-out, how is this happening? We don't know how they're getting in. And I was called in. I worked at Microsoft at the time, and we decided, since we didn't know how it was happening, that we couldn't trust any of the company resources. So we actually met outside the company in an office park, and everybody that was brought in to help, and it was many company people plus a bunch of consultants and stuff. We all had to purchase new laptops. It was new Wi-Fi equipment. Everything was brand new login names, new passwords and everything, because it was an international issue. We were having these teleconferences talking about how to respond to this hacking incident. We also wanted a project name that wouldn't be big hacking event. So we decided we were going to call it the picnic event. And it just happened that in 2 months, the company was having a company-wide international picnic event. So we could easily refer to that in communication, so that if it somehow got out of this air gap network and email communications, like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working on the picnic event. You wouldn't say, I'm working on the Chinese hacking event or something like that. They happened to have this picnic event. It happened in real life, and all the employees went out to play baseball and have a picnic with their families. And we said, well, when they come back in from that the next day, everyone's going to have to change their password. And this applied to all the admins. Let me say, in a really large company, they have tens of thousands of admins, most of which they don't know. They can't trust these people. They don't mostly know who these people are. You've certainly got extra ones in there. So we said, yep, we're going to kill the admins. We're going to get new passwords, and we're going to kill their accounts, and they're going to have to fill out a form. We decided to call it the picnic event form. And they're going to have to fill out this form to tell us why they need to be admin. Why do you need to be admin for us to let back in? So we started designing that form and filling it out. We got about 90% of the way. And then we said, oh, we'll finish it up tomorrow. So I came back in the next day at 7:30, and I always came in early. The project manager that worked for the company, he always beat me by a couple of minutes, and he's sitting there. And I said, hey, how you doing? He goes, good. He goes, we have 2 of our picnic event forms. Now, mind you, we were not going to send them out for 2 months, but he said, I got 2 picnic event forms. And I was like, what do you mean you got 2 picnic event forms? He's like, yeah. So they look on them, and they've come from some Chinese admins that we have. And the funniest part was, they said the reason that you need your admin status, restated is because, well, our access is being cut on the picnic event day. And we were like, well, what? Like literally, whoever had learned this hadn't gotten the part where we weren't sending them out for 2 months. We were just like, what happened? How did they infiltrate our network? And I said, well, let's actually print up our form and print up their form. And if they've just recreated it, we'll know that they recreated it, spied on it and recreated it, and they didn't grab the actual form off your laptop. So we printed up ours, and sure enough, there was 1 line difference. There was like an underline that was like another line feed down. So we said, okay, so this is someone that spied on us in some way and recreated this form, and they just didn't have the language skills to translate that it wasn't supposed to go out for 2 months. And lo and behold, after much searching, it turned out that it infiltrated the teleconferencing application. And so they were listening in, they were able to see the form on this project manager's laptop and recreate it and send it to us, not knowing that they had revealed themselves. So that's when we learned that it was actually Chinese employees that had infiltrated the company as, kind of an insider attack, and that's how it was going on. It was going on they were actually monitoring all the admin and everybody's, meetings through the teleconferencing equipment.